Hey guys, and welcome back to Top 5 Esports. If you're new to first-person shooters, then it goes without saying that you have quite a learning curve ahead of you. Every game has its quirks and unique features, but the primary thing that you need to master as fast as you can is the ability to aim. And not just aim, but aim well. Beginners often find it hard to adjust their aim and follow enemies as they move. They also make a ton of rookie mistakes that often lead to them losing all of the gunfights that they enter. Today, we'll be teaching you some of the important tips that you'll need to keep in mind if you want to stay alive and keep a positive KD ratio. Before we get started, we want to hear from you. Black Ops 4 is the first game of the Call of Duty franchise to count assists as kills in multiplayer. That increased the average player KD significantly, and it makes it easier for teams to reach their score limits in most game modes. Do you think this was a positive change, or should they have kept the original point system from previous Call of Duty titles? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's get straight into the video. Number 5. First of all, let's start off with your controller settings. Your sensitivity needs to strike a fine balance between being able to quickly change direction while also being controllable enough so you can follow enemies steadily. Low sensitivity is good if you're into sniping, or choose medium sensitivity if you're a rifle or SMG player. High is almost never a good option because the movement becomes too sudden and hard to control. Remember, once you set your sensitivity, do not change it. Allow time for your muscle memory to learn it. If you keep changing your settings, you won't be able to learn how to consistently aim at one sensitivity. Number 4. Next up, we have centering and pre-aiming. Centering basically means that the center of your crosshair is always pointed towards an opening. The opening is where you assume enemies may come from. If your crosshair is always centered down onto doorways and hallways, it allows for quicker reactions to emerging enemies and less time wasted moving the crosshair around to aim at them. Pre-aiming is basically the same thing, except you'll be looking at common spots where enemies would usually be. For example, if there's a common hiding spot, always pre-aim there to make sure no enemies can catch you off guard. Number 3. Pre-firing comes next. Pre-firing is a very healthy practice. Basically, when you're moving around, you shoot at common spots where enemies could be camping. Pre-firing spots are learned as you play the game, and you get used to the maps. Not only should you be pre-firing common hiding spots, but you should also try learning the timings of rushes from the other team. That way you can shoot down an enemy who is blindly running at you, just by timing how long it takes for them to run from one part of the map to another. This is extremely useful if you're holding sights or stopping a rush. One thing you should keep in mind about pre-firing is that having a suppressor on your gun is a huge advantage. When you fire at certain spots and there's no enemies there, you're not going to reap any rewards and points, but you're still going to be seen on your enemy's minimap. By using a suppressor on your weapons, you won't have to worry about being seen on the minimap. Number 2. Next up is headshots. Headshots are almost always one-hit kills when you use stronger weapons. A headshot seems like it's pretty hard to do, but if you've been following the tips we've given so far, and you put a little bit of effort into it, you'll see that it's actually not that hard. Once you get a grip on your sensitivity and are able to pre-aim on common spots, you'll get used to adjusting your crosshair to aim for the head of any emerging enemy. This will take some practice, but it'll definitely be worth it, considering that you'll be able to win more gunfights and earn more points with each kill. Number 1. Lastly, but definitely not least, we have burst firing. If you've seen any fail compilations, they all have one thing in common. The feature player often sees an enemy, proceeds to unload his entire magazine on him, and then misses almost every shot. This is because as you start spraying down, the shots become less and less accurate due to recoil. So even if you're aiming for the head and your crosshair is right on the enemy, you'll still miss more often than not. The easiest way to score kills is by burst firing. Burst firing means not spraying down every enemy you see, but rather you fire 3 to 5 shots in intervals until the enemy is down. Essentially, you're turning a fully automatic weapon into a burst fire gun. You'll be much more accurate than a sprayer, and you'll get kills more often using this technique. And that's it. That's our list for the top 5 ways you can learn to aim better. Unfortunately, there's no guide that will teach you how to be a pro player overnight. But if you practice these tips, you'll be winning matches in no time. So good luck, and remember, no one is born a pro COD player. But if you dedicate time to improving, you too can become one of the best. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. If you enjoyed today's top 5, please like and share down below. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.